This is session 6 in our series, Can I Ask That? Is God really violent? Hi, I'm Dr. Freddie Cardoza. So that's today's quick question. Is God really violent? You know, one of the great tragedies of human life is that there is violence in our world. Most violence is caused by evil in the human heart and the strategic influence of Satan in the world. Most violence has nothing to do with God. But there are occasions where some violence is either allowed by God or even enacted by God. We see serious examples of that in Scripture. So it's clear that even though God is not a warmonger, neither is he a pacifist. Here's what's important to understand. God is the only supreme being that exists. And God's brilliance is beyond our ability to understand. His character is good, even inscrutable, meaning God's benevolence is beyond our ability to accuse him of wrongdoing. He's that good. And he is perfectly balanced in all moral perfections. You see, sometimes God is oversimplified and therefore misunderstood. People will say, well, isn't God love? Yes, God's love, but that doesn't mean that God is not also a divine warrior and a champion of good. God is love, but he's not only love. God is the perfect temperament of all character qualities. You see, God is also just. He's also merciful. He's also forgiving. And God holds all of these perfections in perfect balance, in perfect tension. One never eclipses the other. They always stay in perfect harmony. And this is because, you see, God is all-knowing and all-powerful and everywhere present and changeless in his character. And for this reason, God always does the right thing. God cannot err, ever. So here's how to understand human violence and even the violence of God. On those rare occasions where there is divine violence, meaning like God's punishment, it is always a legitimate and even necessary thing. God knows that to maintain his moral purity, to be good, and to honor justice and truth and righteousness and love and mercy, there needs to be a perfect balance of his judgment, even when he chooses to permit or to enact violence. So we should remember that even when it seems so out of control, that in fact, because God is sovereign, when life explodes on us, remember that every molecule, every piece of debris, every reaction are all in his immediate awareness, control, and sovereignty. So when violence occurs, remember, God isn't responsible for much of it. It's often evil human nature and free will. But remember that God is morally perfect. He knows everything actual and possible. And he is in control. And the safest place for us to be is willfully submitted to him and trusting completely in his good character.